Good morning, Year 5. So today we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to be writing a letter where you're going to be able to bring all the skills you've learned in writing this year together to form a letter of support. So I'll come to that in a second, but you can see on your screen three footballers that you may recognise. I know a lot of you will, some of you may not. This is Marcus Rashford, this is Bukayo Saka, and this is Jadon Sancho. So I know a lot of you were up late last Sunday night watching the Euros final between Italy and England, which England unfortunately lost on penalties. And these three players, Marcus Rashford, Bukayo Saka and Jadon Sancho, were players who missed the penalty for England, which ultimately led Italy to winning the European Championship. In the days that followed, lots of children have written letters of support to these young English players. They're quite young. Marcus Rashford's only 23, Saka's only 19, and Jadon Sancho's only 21. So they're extremely young. They took on huge responsibility to take a penalty in the final of a major tournament, and unfortunately for them and their country, they missed, which led to some negative consequences in terms of words and behaviour around racism that was used, like we discussed in our phase meeting. And those players have been affected by that, and of course affected by missing the penalty that cost their country a trophy. So on the sheet you can see the three images of the players. Here is Rashford after he missed. You can see the anguish on his face. And here is Gareth Southgate, the England manager, consoling Jadon Sancho after the match after his miss. And like I said, across the country many children have been writing letters of support to the three players and reassuring them and making them feel better about themselves. So there's two here. One was written from one child called Alfie, and here is another child as well that wrote their one. Lots of children have designed footballs around them, have used artwork to make it look even better, and I know a lot of the children around the country have also sent these letters to the footballers, and the footballers have come out on social media, on the internet, and spoke about how grateful they were for those letters. So what we're going to do today, we are going to write a letter to one of these footballers of your choice, offering them your support. Now it doesn't matter if you watch the match or not, or you like football or not. This is about showing empathy, putting yourself in their shoes, and making someone else feel better after they made an error. So that's what the aim of the lesson is today. Our steps to success are here, and I'm just going to run you through them now. So as we're writing a letter, at the top we're going to write our address and date, and I will show you how to do that momentarily. You'll then introduce yourself. You're going to use direct address. That means you're going to talk to the reader and offer your support to them. So you will choose either Sancho, Saka or Rashford. You will then provide an anecdote. That's like a little memory of when you made an error and how you felt. So you're able to empathise with them. You know what it's like to make an error. You know what it's like not to feel fantastic about yourself. You're going to thank them for their contributions and effort that they did make. You'll wish them an enjoyable summer, and you might offer them a solution to possibly distract them from how upset or the pain they're feeling at this time. And then finally we'll sign off with your name. So I'm going to model one as well, and you'll be able to look at how I wrote mine and then change it up for yourself, including your own little bits, your own anecdotes, your own references to the tournament, and maybe different solutions for them. And like I said, it has nothing to do, or if you do not like football, it really doesn't matter. It's just about showing empathy and sympathy towards people that had nasty things said to them and were in a great deal of pain at the weekend. So that's your step to success, which I'll refer to throughout. And like I said, at the very end of your letter, you'll be able to design it if you like. Your address will or will not be on it. You don't have to write your real address. And you might want to send it to these footballers, as like I said, they are really, really grateful for it. So we have the steps to success on the left hand side. Over here, the first step is to write our address and date. So I'm just going to use the school address. You could use that as well if you didn't want to give your own one. And our school address is Ark Franklin Primary, comma, and then you use another capital letter right below the A. Harvest Road, comma, beneath that Right, London. And our postcode is NW6 6HJ. And then you write the date also, and today's date is the 16th of July 21. So there we have our date, so that if we did send that, they could respond to us if they had the time. You're now going to address the reader. So we're writing for a purpose today. This is a letter. It's not formal and it's not informal. You're not going to talk to them like you're your friend, but you're not going to talk to them like to the Queen either. So you can talk to them respectfully, but using your own language also to help relate to them, and they can relate back to you. So we're not writing really formally or informally. It's kind of semi-formal. Our purpose is to reassure and support this person. So I'm just going to choose Bukayo Saka. You can choose any of the three, whatever you like. So I'm just going to address them. Dear Bukayo. Then I'm going to skip a line, just in case I want to edit at the end. And I am going to introduce myself. Now, this is an opportunity. The wall to simply write a letter of support. This is an opportunity for you to show off all the wonderful techniques you've learned across this year. You can use parentheses, relative clauses, semicolons, colons, subordinate clauses, conjunctions, all the wonderful features of language you are now able to use in your writing. So I'm just going to give my name as Dean, because Dean in Limerick class loves football, and so he's who I thought of when I was writing this model. So, dear Bukayo, my name is Dean, and you're going to say what year you are in, and I am a year 5, or you're going to be in year 6 soon, student at Arc Franklin in London. Okay. I forgot to say, you might want to choose these players based on where they're from as well. Bukayo Saka is from West London, Jadon Sancho is from South London, and Marcus Rashford is from a town just outside Manchester. So far, I have my address and date. I've addressed Bukayo. I've said what my name is, and that I'm a year 5 student at Arc Franklin. I'm going to do a little bit more about myself. I'm going to say that I like football. Okay, you don't have to say that if you don't like football. That's something that I like, so I'm going to let Bukayo know that. So throughout the Euros, I have followed England and was captivated by the excitement. So what that means is you were really taken in by the whole excitement of the tournament and was captivated by the excitement you brought to the country. So I'm just going to check my work so far. I have my address and date, so I'm going to take that off. Then I addressed Bukayo. I said, dear Bukayo, my name is Dean and I'm a year 5 student at Arc Franklin in London. Throughout the Euros I have followed England and was captivated by the excitement you brought to the country. So Bukayo now knows who I am and that I like football. And I'm going to directly address the reader and offer my support to them. So I'm going to let them know that I'm a fan of England again. So this is the section I'm on now, green. I wish I could colour code every one of them, but unfortunately I do not have that many markers at home. As a keen fan and an avid player with my local club. Okay, so I'm just putting myself in a child's shoes. I wanted to write this letter to offer my support to you. As a fellow footballer, as we're both footballers. Okay, so I'm going to continue with directly addressing Bukayo in a second and offering my support to him. I just want to look at some of the features I've used already. I've not used anything too complicated yet, but just small things like this. As a keen fan and an avid player with my local club, that's a really nice opener and a subordinate clause. Okay, and it takes away from just putting the noun first every time, and it's adding flow to it. Like, you know, I like to use the word cohesion. I'm now I want to tell Bukayo about how brave he was, and I'm going to use commas for a list to show the adjectives that he displayed while taking that crucial penalty. So my ing opener is going to be stepping up to take a penalty in a game of such magnitude. Took. And I'm going to use commas to use the power of, going to use colons to give the power of three adjectives that he displayed. And I'm going to say that Bukayo displayed bravery, stamina to play for such a long length of time, and courage. I'm going to tell him he should be immensely proud of himself. So for those reasons, despite him missing the penalty, he should still be immensely proud. For those reasons alone, so never mind everything else he's achieved at just 19 years of age, I'm going to address him directly by saying you should be immensely proud of yourself, comma, as I and the country are of you. So that's me reassuring him. I'm kind of going overboard here by offering support, but remember these players are quite upset and need a lot of our support from their fans. So I'm going to add just a little bit more to this section about offering support. So I'm going to say yes. You were unfortunate, which means unlucky, to miss the penalty, yet, so nice conjunction to show contrast during the last month. You exemplified, so comma before during, you exemplified, and I'm going to use more adjectives to describe what he did, what he showed. He showed resilience and perseverance. I'm going to put it in some brackets for parenthesis. 2 amazing qualities. So he showed resilience and perseverance, 2 amazing qualities, in order to reach the final. Dash, an achievement in itself, adding that emphasis of the achievement that they had to reach the final. And exclamation mark. So I've done 3 sections now. I've done the address and date, I've introduced who I am, and I've offered my support. And you can see I'm starting to build up the cohesion through subordinate clauses. adding extra information with brackets, and then dashes to add emphasis. My next section is to provide an anecdote. So I'm just going to mention time that I did something that was a mistake and how I dealt with it, which might support Bukayo. So I'm going to say we all make mistakes, which we do. As long as we learn from them, it's okay. I'll use a semicolon now. For example, comma, I once gave away a penalty, so I'm going to tell the story of I once gave away a penalty in the last minute of a match, which cost my team a win. Now, your anecdote does not have to be sport related. It could be a time where you made a mistake and how you dealt with it. So I once gave away a penalty that cost my team victory. However, I'm going to explain now how I dealt with it. However, with the support of my teammates, I was quickly able to bounce back. And I have no doubt you'll be able to do likewise. Likewise means the same. So you can see here I'm going to do contraction, you'll for you will. That's acceptable in this type of letter. You'll be able. So we're controlling the formality, choosing the right words at the right time to do. Likewise. So I provided an anecdote. So that step to success is ticked, and by building on each step we're building on our cohesion and we have opportunity to use features. I'm now going to thank them for what they did throughout the tournament and how they created such a buzz and excitement around the country. So I'm going to a nice opener here just to change it up. Not only do I want provide you with support, I also want to thank you and your teammates for the incredible summer. Saw the buzz and excitement that was on the top floor with our draw for the Euros about getting extra play, and all of this led to that buzz. Teammates for the incredible summer. Should be a capital S. You gave the England supporters. Despite challenges, I'm going to acknowledge the challenges they faced and some of the criticism they encountered. Despite challenges and criticism, I have an opportunity again to use some parenthesis. So despite challenges and criticism, and here is an option to use dashes for parenthesis. None more unacceptable, so I'm going to reference the unacceptable comments that were made. Then the abuse, some nasty things were said. You and others received. Now I'm closing my dashes, so I need to make sure it's going to make sense without the dashes. So despite challenges and criticism, you conducted yourselves with pride. And this is the extra information here. pride and passion. And I could also keep going and say a little bit more, like that they brought the country together in a time of hardship. Okay, so we've thanked them. We provided anecdotes. We've used direct address to talk to him. We've introduced ourselves. We have our address. Now we just need to sign off and wish them an enjoyable summer and maybe offer them a solution. So, I'm going to use the word sincerely. It's slightly formal, but it gets across that I really, really want them and him to enjoy his time off. So I sincerely hope you have an enjoyable holiday with friends and family. I'm going to a new page. Now we're writing a lot, but we're able to write at length at this point as we enter year 6 with friends and family. And if you need to make it slightly shorter, that's okay too. And if you want to make it even longer, that's fine, as long as it keeps its cohesion. With friends and family, before you return to your club. And if you don't want to write this up, you can write it on, type it up on a Word document as well if you prefer, and upload it to Seesaw that way. If that's what you prefer, while we're doing home learning, you may as well practice your typing skills if that's what you'd like to do. So return to your club. I'm just going to give them a silly recommendation because I can't think of anything else right now. And if you need a distraction, use a rhetorical question. Why not find a movie or book that'll answer the rhetorical question? It always works for me! Exclamation mark. Now I'm going to sign off very simply. Best wishes by skipping a line, comma, skip a line, sign your name. Okay, that's done. Right, so we're going to just check for cohesion and any errors very quickly. So I've wished them an enjoyable summer and a solution, and I signed off. So, right, address and date. Ark Franklin Primary, Harvest Road, London, NW66HJ. The date, the 16th of July 2021. Address Bukayo, dear Bukayo, and introduce myself. My name is Dean and I am a Year 5 student at Ark Franklin in London. Throughout the Euros, I have followed England and was captivated by the excitement you brought to the country. As a keen fan and an avid player with my local club, I wanted to write you this letter to offer my support to you as a fellow footballer. Okay, I've introduced myself in detail. Now I'm going to support him. Stepping up to take a penalty in a game of such magnitude took bravery, stamina and courage. For these reasons alone, error, I made a mistake, so I can fix it. And the reason I was able to identify that because I'm reading aloud, checking my work. For these reasons alone, you should be immensely proud of yourself, as I and the country are of you. Yes, you were unfortunate to miss the penalty, yet during the last month you exemplified resilience and perseverance, brackets, 2 amazing qualities, in order to reach the final, an achievement in itself. So I've used dashes, brackets, subordinate clauses. I'm now going to use an anecdote. So this step. We all make mistakes, semicolon. For example, I once gave away a penalty that cost my team victory. However, with the support of my teammates, I was quickly able to bounce back, and I've no doubt you'll be able to do likewise. Not only do I want to thank you, so now I'm thanking them for the summer they gave England fans. Not only do I want to thank you and your teammates for the incredible summer you gave the England supporters. Despite challenges and criticism, dashes for parenthesis, none more acceptable than the abuse you and others received, you conduct yourselves with passion. I sincerely hope you've an enjoyable, that would work better here if I said passion and pride. So I've fixed another error. I'm now going to wish him an amazing summer. I sincerely hope you have an enjoyable summer with friends and family before you return to your club. And if you need a distraction, why not find a movie or a book? You can do better than that. It always works for me. Best wishes. So there's the steps. I will attach the steps to the home learning file so you can look at that as well alongside the model. But I would encourage you to look at the video as well as I talk through the different features, aiming to maintain cohesion. Like I said, you can type this up if you want and post it that way. You can add all the artwork you want. And also remember, if you don't like football, this isn't the purpose. It's not about football. It was about providing support, empathy and reassurance to someone that was suffering. So you can give your own anecdotes, your own solutions, and make it very personal for you. So I look forward to reading these on Seesaw later. Have a lovely day, and I will talk to you then. Bye.